Hey guys, Mama Sam here. So as you can see, I've gone very creepy again today because I have more creepy stories for you guys. So the ghost story that I did was very well received. A lot of people really enjoyed it. So I figured I would go ahead and talk to you guys about um, the other experiences that I had in this house. So every Monday or every other Monday, I don't know, we'll figure it out. We're probably going to do something like this because Mama Sam has a dark side. I love all things creepy and scary and ghostly and otherworldly. So this will be something that I really enjoy. So let's jump right in. Me and my husband moved into this house in 2012. We had this house built from the ground up. It's our home, that we customized. So it's a new home. Well, there was this time period for like a couple weeks where all this really weird stuff happened. So it started one night. My husband, he used to work graveyard shift. So he was at work and I was home with my daughter. My daughter, she was just a baby. She was upstairs sleeping and I was downstairs by myself playing Final Fantasy VII, actually. And I remember it was a really intense part. If you've played the game, it was a part where you're in I think it's called the Jelnika. It's the underwater airplane. And that airplane is known for having some of the toughest, not bosses, but like battles in the game. So I was super focused on what I was doing on this mission that I was on. Because I was actually fighting a boss down there. It was that stupid boss with the two arms that picks up your characters and swings them around. Very, very tough boss in the game. So I was totally enamored in what I was doing. I wasn't thinking about anything except playing this game. So while I'm playing, I noticed that and it just happens like that. All the hair on my arms just stands up. And I just get this creepy feeling all over my body, and it just came out of nowhere while I was totally busy. My mind was busy. And I've always heard the expression, you feel like you're being watched. I've never understood what that means. How do you know if somebody's looking at you? But this was a time when, I get that. I don't know how else to explain it other than it felt like somebody was standing behind me. You could just sense their presence, and I mean that in a ghostly or non-ghostly way. I don't know. It felt like somebody was behind me, and I remember I just kind of turned around, and I paused the game, and I just have this sense of dread, this total sense of dread, and I'm just like, this is weird. I feel weird. I feel really scared all of a sudden for no reason. Nothing's going on. And then I noticed that everything in the house goes dead quiet. The air isn't running. It seems like the fans aren't making noise. The TV's quiet. I don't hear any cars outside. It was just dead silence in the house. It was so creepy. I got so creeped out by nothing. I ended up calling my husband. I'm like, I don't know. I feel really scared and creeped out. And he's just like, well, what do you want me to do? I'm like, well, obviously there's nothing you can do. I'm like, I don't know. I just had to call you to tell you I feel really scared. And that's what the very first thing that started all of this really weird stuff that started happening in the house. So in the next couple weeks, there was a bunch of events that happened. I might be saying them out of order because it felt like it was every day, every night, everything, something weird was happening. So I was upstairs and my husband was taking a shower. And I'm sitting on the bed on this gaming chair that we have in our bedroom. And I hear the garage door slam shut. It sounds like somebody walked through and just let the door shut because our garage door just shuts by itself. So I jump up and I run into the bathroom and I'm like, Frank, somebody is downstairs. And he gets out and he goes downstairs. There's nobody there. And I'm like, I heard the garage door shut. And he's like, yeah, I in the shower, I could like, you could like hear it too. Cause you can hear everything in our freaking house. But there was nothing there. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that one. I was so confused because I'm like, this isn't an old house. This is a new house. Like, what's going on? So I'm sitting on the couch downstairs, and this was before we had curtains. So we just had blinds on our windows. And I'm watching TV. My little baby girl's sleeping on the couch. And for some reason, I look at the I was actually watching King of the Hill. I love that show. And so I'm looking at the TV, but I'm kind of like this. So I'm facing the TV and the curtains, and I just happened to look at the curtains. And when I did, there was a flash of light. But not the whole window didn't light up. It was like just the bottom half, like, and not even the bottom half, like the bottom corner of the left side of the window. And I remember I was so scared. I couldn't move. I was just sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I'm laying on the couch, sitting on the couch in the dark with my daughter. I didn't know what to do. I was so scared. I thought somebody's in the backyard. And so once I gathered myself, I grabbed my daughter, ran upstairs. I told my husband, I was like, somebody's in the backyard. They have a light, like looking through the window. And so my husband checks, and the good thing about like our bedroom is we have these two big windows in, and you can look down directly into our backyard. And my husband's looking, there's like nobody, he's like, there's no one there. I'm like, well, you have to go and check, like, because this to me seemed like somebody was literally looking into our windows, whether shining a light. It almost seemed like they took a picture because it was like a flash. And I was like, somebody's outside looking in our house. And so my husband goes outside and checks. There's nobody there. So if somebody was in the backyard, I'm sure by this time they would have already left, I guess. If they were like, sussing us out. That to me is the most rational explanation, is that somebody actually was in our backyard and they were using a light or something to look in. Maybe they saw me because we had a little hole in our blind. So I don't know if they saw me and they immediately bailed out. I don't really know. It looked like somebody took a picture just in that bottom half of our window. So I'm getting like really freaked out. This is all happening really, really fast. And so one night I'm upstairs and I'm putting my daughter down. I always sleep with every door shut. Closet doors, bedroom door, and I even lock our bedroom door because at this time, like I said, my husband worked a graveyard, so I always had our bedroom door locked. And like I had like a game plan in case something went down. But anyway, so I'm laying my daughter down and I'm covering up with a blanket. And we had, at the time, we had all of the doors where, like the places where we didn't want our daughter to be able to open the door and go into. We had childproof handles on the door. So basically it's like this little plastic shell thing that you stick on the doorknob. When they try to turn it, it just turns. You can't open the door because it just keeps turning. And so when I'm laying her down, I hear what sounds like somebody grab that and spin it. And it's like, do-do-do-do-do. And I'm like, oh shit. So I call my husband. I'm like, somebody's in the house. So he comes home. My poor husband. He comes home. He has like a bat in his hand and he's looking through the house and there's nobody there. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, somebody spun the door handle. Like that thing, it's round. So it's not like it's square and maybe it was set a certain way and it fell. The handle's, it's round, the part that sits on the doorknob. So it's not going to just spin by itself. Somebody spun it. It was scary. He looked through the house. No one's here. And I'm like, what is going on? So another night, I'm laying in bed and I'm just watching TV. I'm watching the stupidest movie ever. It was like Queen Latifah went on vacation. I don't really know. And so I just start hearing this like humming noise, like this buzzing noise. I have no idea how to explain it. Like maybe there was electrical wires outside that were exposed and you could hear like the hum of it. And so I'm like, what is that? Like it was driving me crazy. And so I went outside and I listened. I didn't hear anything outside. And so I went upstairs to my bedroom window because it felt like it was like the windows were vibrating in my bedroom and I could hear it. And I'm like putting my hands on it. I don't feel anything vibrating. I open the window. I don't hear anything. I don't know. I shut the windows. I lay back in bed and I can hear it. And it was really unnerving. And eventually I fell asleep. I've never heard that again. I'm starting to think maybe I'm insane. Another night, I'm in the bathroom and my daughter's asleep again. the door's shut and locked and all that kind of stuff. And I hear, you guys are going to think I'm insane. I swear, I'm not making any of this up. I could be insane. That could be what's going on here, but I'm just telling you what happened. So I hear in my ear somebody say, man. It is the clearest, most, like, literally somebody was right next to my ear. And it wasn't like, man, or man. Like, it wasn't whispered. It wasn't like, it didn't sound scary, but it was scary because I was alone in my bathroom. The windows are shut. You know, it's like the middle of the night. And I just hear somebody say, man. And I remember I went like that. And I mean, there's no one there. I called my husband. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, honey, there's weird things going on in this house. I'm really scared. What is going on? And he's like, honey, I don't know. Like, and of course he never has anything creepy happen to him. Why is it always the wives that are home or really weird stuff's going on? I have no idea. My husband just recently, like a couple of years ago, started working a daytime job. So this whole time I've been with him, he had worked graveyard. So it's not like I wasn't used to being home by myself. So then I have this dream. And trust me, I already know what you're going to think. But I'm not saying this is what happened. But this was the dream that I had, okay? I had a dream that I was laying in my bed. And it was dark in the room, which was scary too because I always sleep with the bathroom light on and the TV on, so it's never dark in my room. But it was dark in my dream, like everything was off. And so there was just there was like 4 or 5, like these shadowy figures standing around my bed that almost looked like surgeons. They had like the doctor outfits on and they had the surgical mask and hat. And they're standing around the bed, poking and prodding me, but they were also like touching me in places they shouldn't be. And I remember I woke up and I'm like, oh, that was really weird. And my mom was like, maybe you were abducted by aliens. I'm like, no. No, I don't know. I don't want that to be true. So I'm just going to say, no, that didn't really happen. I really hope that's not what happened. But that's immediately what I was thinking too. Like when I was I'm going to tell people this dream and they're going to be like, it's aliens. And so the last thing I can think of, the strangest thing that happened the whole time. So I was asleep. Usually when I'm the world's lightest sleeper. Like you could drop a sock on the floor and it would wake me up. I'll always usually go to bed with pants on. The only time I don't go to bed with pants on is if it's like way, way hot. I can't stand to not wear pants really when I go to bed. So I went to bed with my pants on and I woke up in the middle of the night and I could tell it just like, I was like really, really out of it still when I woke up. And I'm just like, I woke up and I'm like, I feel really cold. The realization comes to me. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just like knew, I'm like, I don't have my pants on. So I lift the covers. Sure enough, I don't have pants on. Now, I have been known to take my pants off in the middle of the night. I take them off and I drop them on the floor. Always. 100% of the times, every single night of my life that I have been alive since 0 to this age, whenever I take my pants off in the middle of the night, they go on the floor. They never go anywhere else. They go on the floor. So I think I must have took my pants off and I don't remember. So I'm looking on the floor. I'm like, what the heck? Where are my pants? So I get up. I go to the bathroom. And I walk back out. I'm like really confused. I'm like, where's my pants? I went to bed with pants on and now I don't have pants on. Like, this is really weird. They are folded up very nicely on my dresser. Now, in order for this to have happened, I would have had to have woke up, got up, walked to my dresser, which is across my room, took my pants off, folded them very nicely in a way that I've never seen pants folded, because usually I just throw crap down, put them on my dresser, and got back in bed without remembering any of it. So I'm like, which is scarier? A lot of weird stuff happening in the house, and then this happening where like my pants came off, somebody took my pants off, folded them up and put them on the dresser, or I got up and I did all of this and I absolutely do not remember a second of it. I don't know what the answer is. The logical answer is that I did that, But that doesn't make me feel any more comfortable knowing that I got up, was walking around, taking my pants off and folding stuff, and I don't remember it at all. What if I got up and did something, like fell down the stairs, or, I did something to my daughter because I don't remember? Like, to me, that's really scary. I don't know which is scarier. So that was pretty much all of it. I told, my husband knows, and I told my family and my mom and all that kind of stuff. And it was a very creepy thing that happened in the house. Nothing creepy has happened since, which is good. I don't want creepy things happening, despite the fact that I seem like I'm creepy. I don't want creepy things happening. Yeah, so I don't know. It was just very strange things. And this all happened in the matter of like 2 or 3 weeks. It was all very short. And I just kept one thing I forgot. I remember I was laying in bed and it sounded like somebody was like walking down the hall and like touched the door to see if they could open it, but it wouldn't open. And then they turned around and walked back. I remember I was so unnerved by it. I went to work and I told my boss everything that had been going on. I'm like, you guys, there's so much weird stuff happening in my house. She actually thought, she was like, maybe somebody's living in your attic. Like that happens. You should check and stuff. So I had my dad check. There's nothing. He's like, there's nothing up there except insulation. So this was something that was really creepy stuff that was really going on. And I was having my husband come home. I thought people were breaking in. I'm having my dad check the attic. So I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, that's my story. These are really fun. I do have a couple more creepy stories for you. They're less, they're shorter. They're not as long. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye, friends.